Hello, my African brothers and sisters. I am back again with the African. We have big problem in our African continent. That's why it is difficult for African to create United States of Africa. But we can do it. The problem of creating United States of Africa is that 95% of our leaders are so corrupt in power. They are power hungry. They are power haunted. This is the problem. That's why for Africa to have a United States of Africa will be difficult, but we can do it. We can fight for it, we work for it, and we pray for it. Inshallah, with the grace of Almighty Allah, one day will come, there will be a united Africa. And the united Africa is the prayers of our forefathers who work for independence and uproot Africa from colonialism. But the mistake of our forefathers was they never send the neo-colonials away. They are working with them. That's why still it's too hard for African to believe that we can do it without the help of European or American or Asian. Africa is the only continent in the world who welcome all race, all humankind, welcome them, and they misuse us and they maltreated us. And still we keeping quiet and keep patient on it. When shall that end? It's now we should end that. We, the young generation of today, if we don't have power to sit and rule, but we have our voice to speak out. Our voice is our element to fight against imperial rule. The Western will never leave and they will never want to leave. When we talk of the Western, we mean the Western politician and the Western businessmen and businesswomen, the Western companies at large. And the Western aid, they call a aid with the benefit of Western policy and Western politics. Because those aids in Africa are never helping African people, but instead helping their own people they represented there. But the problem of Africa is that we believe the people we welcome more than ourselves. We believe them to an extent that whatever they tell us, that what we believe. And we never see the negative part of it. Imagine the grandfather of somebody who slave you, colonize you, kill you, prison you, come with the small amount of money telling you, we want to help you. No. European will never go to that extent to help African to be better. Because the better of African is the downfall of European or an American and Asian itself. That's why the world combined together to see that Africa is never united. This is the problem we are facing today, we have facing before, and we should fight against that problem to end it now. We are calling our leaders, our so-called politicians who are dancing to the tune of Westerners. We are telling them enough is enough. African children need to take control of their continent, to take control of their resources, and take control of our educational system. When you see the educational system of Africa is all manipulated and printed out by the Western people who pretended to help African while they are helping themselves. Because in all the 54 countries of Africa, when you look the educational system, is a system that corrupted our mind, our brain, our social affairs, and everything at large, to see that Africans are always busy reading and writing books without developing themselves. The civic education we need to integrate ourselves is the policy European people never want Africa to use. Because the moment African implement those civic education to train a good qualified personnel who will work into their affairs and manufacture their things for themselves, it's the downfall of the Western companies. This is what they don't want, and tell African, you can go to school, read books, learn, you have your degree, you have your masters, but still we produce and you buy it from us. What a world we are living. But when you say this to African, many will not understand, some will understand, but they always said, let be patient, time will change, things will change. When shall that be? When the African don't take action and don't believe themselves. It's too sad when African stood up and fight against African stood up and killed African stood up and said, I hate African. This is the saddest part, or the darkest part, mentally darkest part of Black people. Without self-love, without loving ourselves, loving each other, to go forward will be very difficult. The first we have to fight for is, let's try love one another. If you see a Black, know that you see a brother or a sister. Let's have this mental love in ourselves and try to push each other forward, not to bring each other down. A Black man will rather support an Asian or a European or American than to support his blood brother who is an investor who want to make something whereby many African people can benefit from or himself. He rather believe the foreigners than it owns. And these are the mentality and the mindset of Africa we have to end. Before you spend billions in Western products, why not you spend billions in African products that will be invested in Africa, and the person on that investment is African and will be the beneficiary for African. But no, many don't think about that. This is why we are always going down, because we work and give it out. We can take a many examples. People working in Europe here, African working in Europe here, it is too hard and difficult to even cross with 10,000 euro to your own continent. But the European can cash up 100,000 euros, millions, from Africa to Europe. It will be no problem for them. Our authorities will never question them. Our authorities will never question them and will never make an investigation about that. There are many European investors in Africa, but whatever they have, they bring it to their countries. The American investor in Africa, whatever they have, they bring in America. The Asian, the Chinese, the investor there, whatever they have, they bring it to China or Asia or Saudi Arabia, anywhere they are. But we, the African, they try to manipulate and seize our right of investment in their own continent, in their own territory, but they are free to do whatever in our African continent. It's a time, nothing to wait. We have been waiting for long. We have wasted many time. We have lost trillions. Been keeping quiet. We have to push our politicians. We talk and speak to our politicians. Let them stop this nonsense they are doing with the West to treat their own bad. A brother you love is better than the foreigner you love. The pity your brother will have for you, the foreigner will not have for that. You will see only in Africa, our millionaires and billionaires will not even trust to leave their billions in Africa, but rather to save in Switzerland, in United States, in United Kingdom, in Germany, in Sweden, or in any different part of the European or American countries. What happened when those people die, or they have an issue with the government, or they have an issue with the European? Their cars, they save their issues, and the people who own those banks are the beneficiary. What a bad habit of our people who we trust can develop and invest in Africa and see that we go forward, don't even trust their own people. It's too sad. You will never see a European millionaire or an American millionaire or an Asian millionaire or a Canadian millionaire who will ever think after save a damn cent in African country. But they are forcing you, manipulating you. Come and save it here. Here is safer to save here. Come and buy house here. Here is safer to buy house here. Come and make an investment here. Here is safer than in your own people. They are manipulating your mind to see your people low and to see your people nothing but a target to you. The moment we don't end that, it will be too difficult for us to go forward. The little you have spent in your country, spent in your people, or in your neighboring country, but let it be in a surrounding of Africa. Because all African are brothers and sisters. Africa was once called Africa. It was not these 54 countries were never been made if there was not an implement of colonialism. The Western people come to Africa, divided us, make enmity between ourselves, and we accept this. And still now those things are existing in Africa with the 21st century we are living. Why can't we open our eyes and see Africa as one? This creation of ethnicity and this inter-ethnicity differences was brought by Western people so that we will never be agree on the same thing. We will never be united so that they can have the power to use what they want and to take what they want and to do what they want in our society. Because a society where there is a difference between people is too easy to come and manipulate another and to come overcome against another. This is how they even colonize Africa. When they come with some chief who are easily to manipulated to fight against the people who don't want no colonialism, who are resistant to colonialism, to fight against them, kill them, and they colonize us. And they, in return, give the chief who help them some materials. Later on, they will come and boycott you and kill you. This is how they did it. If you stand with the West to fight against your brother, remember that a day will come, he will turn against you and do you what you did to your brother. This is what we have to think in our mind, in our brain, in our society, in our surrounding, and to teach our generation and our children about that. We have no friend in this world. Our friends are the people who see us through and who will not come and misuse us, to mislead us, and to see that we are down and they are going ahead. The problem of this world is the politicians and the investors are the cause of all these chaos everywhere in the world. Why we believe that we, the African, we cannot do it ourselves. We need the European, the American, or the Chinese, or the Saudi people, or the Arab people to come and do it for us. We have those Arabs in Africa, but those Arabs are African. Some call themselves, they are not part of Africa, they are Arabs, even though they are African. But one thing we have to understand is that Africa is a continent rich with mineral resources, which Africa can take care of African affairs and even help the other part of the world. But with all that mineral resources we are having, Africa is still the poorest and the hungriest and the sufferest continent in the world. And still, anywhere you go in this world, Africans are suffering there in search of greener pasture, and we are maltreated like an animal anywhere we go and anywhere we are living by the people in authority. The people in authority treat us and see us as an animal and manipulate their citizens and people that these people are not welcome here and they are not to be seen here. Even those people know that the working with the African is beneficial to them, but due to the political stupidity and the political influence the politicians bring in the society in Europe or America, in anywhere in the world, change the mindset of the citizen of that place to have a hatred against the African, whilst African did nothing to them. Because they told them they see us as a criminal while we are not a criminal. And those people in office, these politicians, they select to lead them are the people misleading them and the people who are the real criminal. If you are looking for real criminal, hold the people from the politics, the high ranker, the high top officers. They are the people who are the criminal in this world and try to mislead the people and pointed out the people who don't even know their left and right about how criminality works in this world. It's too hard and too difficult when a politician stood up and speak against some race or speak against some people, for their people to ignore that because they see them as a philosophy, a prophecy, who to lead them to righteous paths. But they don't know the real people who are ahead of them. When we look at this world, the France, the British, the Belgian, the German, the American, the Israeli are the most dangerous people in this world. Their people in authority are the most wicked and dangerous people in this world. But the media will never show it out. The politicians themselves will never speak it out because politics is dirty and dangerous for truth. All these Western countries, Western powers, the people in authority are the cause of all this chaos in this world. But they pretended that they are stabilizing peace, whilst they are the people who are sponsoring the people who are making instability. But many don't know, or many will not believe. But the people we see as the viewer or the voice of people are our problem in this world. But the trust we have on them, we never misjudge them. We always see them, whatever they said is the reality. It's time to check. When you go to America, you go to Germany, Italy, France, England, Sweden, any part of the world, there are homeless. Homeless people who don't have a house to live, to stay, to eat. It's even difficult for them. Before they said we make an aid for Africa, why can't they help their people who don't have house, who don't have home, who don't have food to eat, who don't have even a good potable drinking water to drink? They are living on the streets. Why can't they help them? You see, this is all about the politics. And they misuse the wealth of their people and try to destroy the name of African, telling them we are helping African people. African don't need your help. You cannot bring your 2 cents to Africa and you want to take a billions of African. We don't need that help. If you give for 50-50, one can understand, but you cannot give for a 0.1% and you want to take 99%, 99% point 99. No, you can never do. We can never agree on that. We are saying we African are now waking up and we believe and trust our politicians, our political powers, or our revolutionary who are against Western control, who are against Western media, who are against Western voice, who are against Western policy. We said, thank you, sir, for your job. Well done for seeing Africa first than any other part of the world. We can do it for ourselves when we cooperate and work hard to achieve our goals. But one thing we have to understand always, the Western and American will never let us to united. It's a time to fight. It's a time not to fear anything, to see one thing. We are united and we have free movement and free business of African affairs without the interference of any other part of the world. Imagine America is called United States of America. It's a combination of many states to form a one power called United States of Africa. But why are they denying us to have a United States of Africa? Because they know when Africa is united, there will no call for America in this power. Because we will take power from them, and that's what they don't want to see. And that's what they don't want to see. If you look, how many countries in Africa, Americans have their base there? How many countries in Africa? The France have their base, the British have their base there. The German have their base there. We are talking now, the Russian have their base in Africa. We are talking of the other European people come and misuse Africa. We are welcoming the Russian and Chinese. They will also come and misuse us and mislead us if we don't take care and if we don't take our time how to be interference with these people. Because one thing they always take is the interest of their citizen. It's only in Africa our leaders look their interest, not the interest of the citizen, but Western world look for the interest of their people. Anywhere they are going, they go for the use and the interest of their people, not for the one they are going to take that interest from. That's what we, the African, don't understand about this Western politics. Their political system is too bad and too dangerous for humanity. Because their political system don't know humanity. It's only oppression. They oppress the poor for the rich to be richer and the poor to be suffer and to be more poorer. This is the problem we are having. And the people we said are our people who have our voice when they are coming in office due to this election. The European interferes, the American interferes in the election system of African countries. Why? Have you ever heard in the history when the Europeans are making their election, they ever communicated any African country about it to come and observe their election? No. But you see, Africans don't even trust themselves and involve the European and America to come and control their election for them. And those people who are there, check the people they want to work with. The people who can work for them are the people they take as our leaders. Is that not a comedian? And we call that a democracy. I can lay my hand on fire and say that 95% of African elections are all manipulated and not win by vote, but win by the use of Western people. They choose who they want to lead us, the one they can manipulate it easily, and the one who can work for them what has they wanted. But when it comes to politics in Africa, we see the politician as the one who should remove us from this poverty and this sufferness. Hadn't been, we don't know that those politicians we are choosing are the people who are going to fail us because they are going to work with our enemies. That's why the military who comes in power with the use of force are the only people who understand the language of African, not the language of European or American. But they see their people and feel them. They were in the service and they know how the people feel, how their people, their brothers and sisters are suffering under this Western control. That's why they created ECOWAS, African Union, to stop this use of force to come in power. Because any military leader who comes to power always see the face, the citizen first, and see the country, and they uproot the country from poverty to development to ensure that the living condition of its citizens are getting better and more better. And this is what the European people don't want. But the moment the African people hear about military in power, they fear about military in power because we think that the military in power will be aggressive to them, while the military in power will be aggressive to the Western control of their affairs. And this is what Africa needs for us to be united and to be developed and take the affairs of Africa and to use and benefit our mineral resources in Africa. You cannot come to my home and say whatever in my home belongs to you. I own only 1% or 0.5%. The 95.95% belong to you, or all in the name of colonialism or neo-colonialism. When African people are intelligent, our leaders are intelligent, and they wake up, we have to sue the Western people to court. They should pay Africa for enslaving us, for colonizing us, and the colonial debt the African people pay, this should be all returned to the African. But we can only do that when Africa is united and go against this mismaltreatment the other part of the world did to Africa. Remember, many countries of Africa, their foreign currency is created by the Western people who are working in this place where they are making our currency. It's the European and themselves, their people are working there. You will not see our people working there who are earning this money. It's them, and we are paying them a cash. A good salary are they earning. Who is making European money? It's the European themselves. Why we don't trust ourselves, and for our money to be printed by the European and determine to us how much we need to use in a year and how much can we take as a credit. My brothers and sisters, remember the currency of African is created by Western people and telling us this amount you can use in this year, but if you need more, we can credit you. They printed your own money and come and credit you with the money you are using, and you are paying them. What a crazy world we are living. If you see, Africa have the mineral resources. Why our currency is too low, too down, and the Western countries' currency is too high? There should be a game play of 50-50 demands of raw materials and finished product. There should be no Western country currency that should be more powerful than African countries, because the way they created their currency and how they work it, the resources are from Africa. Why? It's because we don't united to have a one tangible and one strong currency in Africa to go against the world. That is so sad for Africa. And the sooner we wake up and work against that, the better for us. When you check another part of Africa, the European, the American, Canadian come to Africa, buy a land and say that land belongs to them and they will never return it. And make us to sign a contract in our own land, in our own society, to accept that. Where I know in Europe or in any other country, all land belongs to the state. No other person have a power to acquire such a land or something without the authorization of their state. But they fool us to make their own contract, to make their own documents, and come and give you to sign it with the exchange of life. Well, that is your life, the life of your generation and the generation coming. Remember, gold in my land, gold in our country. You come from Canada, telling us that gold you buy the area, it belongs to you. Which African country, or which African citizen or African human will have that fit to come to any other part of the world without Africa, or even in Africa, to say this thing belongs to me? And the most saddest part of it, for the neighboring African countries to take a business part in other African country is more difficult than to fight against a lion. And the free movement of Africans from other African country to another is more hard, difficult to travel from Africa to America through land. All those control and those distraction is done and placed on our head by the Western people so that there will be no freedom of movement to change, free exchange of ideas, and to working hard together. It's all in their policies. The moment they come to the moment they come closer to each other, the more they will have more idea together, and the moment they have more idea is the time they will stand against us. But Africans don't understand that. I remember a Gambian traveling to Senegal. It's too difficult. When you come to the border, the Senegalese authority will ask you many questions like you are from different part of the world, not in Gambia. Likewise, other people do. When the neighboring country don't have no agreement for inter-country free movement and business, how can we go forward? It's too hard. Look at Europe here. With a European pass from any other country, you are free to move all part of Europe without asking you, without disturbing you. You can travel all part of the world. But why our African passport can never travel to a neighboring country rather than to sit other part of African country? It's too sad. It's all done. And the policy is bring to us by the Western people, so that the moment we are far from each other, the more we hate ourselves, and the more we hate each other. And the more we don't have love for each other, better for them and bad for Africa. Why can't we Africans wake up for once? Africa can be united. When Africans are ready, we can do it. There are policies what we should take on. We don't have to ask no authority from any other part of the world. Africa is African. Africa belongs to Africa. Any decision to be taken in African affairs should not be discussed in Paris or in England or in America or in any other part of the world. It should be discussed in Africa and decided in Africa. But we keep ourselves too low. We cannot do nothing in our own without involving those people. And those people will never give us something that will be beneficial for Africa. But still now, our politicians are failing us. Our politicians are failing us. We are calling our politicians, stop failing your children, stop failing your people, stop failing African people. Enough is enough. We have been keeping this pain for so long, and we are still on the pain. When shall we get our freedom? When shall we get our freedom? When shall the African sovereignty be respected and be free from interference of Western policies? Western people make policies with the favor of their Western policy, not in the favor of African policy. And still our leaders accepted that. Because of a small cash, they bribed them for their only use, and forgetting them, the people who put them into power need a good implementation of their service. Thank you.